What's up, everyone? Today I got a bit of a story time mixed with kind of like a review of a recent Florida trip I did down in Florida where I booked a charter with Deep Blue Kayak Fishing. So I had heard about these guys from various YouTube channels and I come across their website and I see pictures in these videos of these guys holding these huge fish from kayaks like sailfish and kingfish and wahoo and mai, and I was just thinking, that could be me. I want to catch one of those fish from a kayak. So I got in touch with them and I booked the offshore charter. Unfortunately, the weather did not cooperate and we couldn't go offshore. So we had to switch it to an inshore trip to chase snook. The day the charter comes, I go down and I meet my guide Matt, who's also one of the owners of Deep Blue. And he says the game plan is we're gonna flip docks and mangroves with live bait, work our way over to the mangroves, and he basically told me to look for any pockets or branches sticking out. With those mangroves, the snooks sit tight back into the roots. So you really had to make a good cast, get them deep up in there, and that's where they were sitting. So I have this perfect branch sitting out. I make a nice cast back along the branch. I feel the bite, set the hook, and this fish comes rocketing out of the water and basically just lands in my lap. And it was maybe 5-6 inches long. Matt was like, "That's the smallest snook I've ever seen." It was pretty funny, but it got the skunk off. It was my first snook from a kayak, and he made a joke saying, "Well, they can only get bigger from there." So we continue to work the mangroves. We come up to a spot. It's like a nice big pocket with kind of like an island of mangroves sticking out, and we could see a nice shadow swimming around. Matt goes, "Oh, that's a big snook right there. Make a cast." He gets his GoPro recording. I'm standing up, but I could see where the fish is at, and the pressure's on, and I go to make my cast, and I put it like 10 feet up into the mangroves, and Matt's looking at me like, what the hell was that? And I mean, it was embarrassing, but I get it down, and then I climb out of the kayak, and I'm just standing there kind of like waiting so I can get a better cast angle to get it under where I want it. I make a cast into the pocket. Matt walked over to get a different angle with the GoPro, and that fish just slams it. And I just set the hook, and it was fish on.
Nice. We got him. Watch your boat. Yeah, that's the one we saw for sure. And over here, don't let him get over there. Slip him. There you go. Got him? All right, get him up. Hold him up. Up.
I remember when I held my first fish.
There we go. Awesome, man. Hold him up. Sweet. That's the one we saw come out. That's a nice.
So not only did I make a terrible first cast at aiming for that snook, I dropped him. I dunked his reel in the water, for crying out loud. Sorry again for that. But that was the first nice sized snook of the trip, and I was just blown away with how hard they fought. They really just tried to pull you back into the mangroves and break you off. So you really had to put a lot of pressure on them, but not too much, because I learned that the hard way. A few fish later, I would just pull the hook because I was trying to pull them out too hard, and I would just pull the hook right out of their mouth. So a little later on, we're both fishing, and Matt calls me over. He's like, "Man, I just lost 4 baits back in this pocket. There's one sitting there. Make a cast." So I pedal over, get in position, and then make a cast, and I'm just sitting there waiting. And then I feel my line just kind of get tight, and then boom, another fish.
Yes, I knew there was one back there. Nice and easy now. Loose drag, loose drag. Lighten that drag up, lighten that drag up. Yep, let him pull you out now. Ain't going anywhere. That's how you're out. Nice. Alright there. Got him there, alright. Very cool right there. Pull him up. Nice. Good job.
Yeah, buddy.
Pulled him out.
It was a bit of a challenge, but it was extremely fun getting used to the whole process of using zero drag, setting a hook, pulling the fish, but not too hard so you didn't pull the hook, and then pedaling away and then loosening your drag up and then tiring the fish out so you could land it. You know, I had never used a pedal kayak before. This is my first time. They were Hobie Outbacks with the Mirage drive. Now I'm debating on buying a Hobie. I mean, it was a bit of a learning curve, but I got the hang of it pretty quick. And like I said, it was an extremely fun way to catch these fish. At the end of the day, I think I probably caught 8 to 10 snook. Probably lost another 8 to 10 in the mangroves, whether I, just missed the hook set or they broke me off or I, pulled the hook. But it was non-stop action all day. And, there wasn't just snook. I had other bycatches. I caught a couple jacks, a little barracuda. And, I know people in Florida kind of call these trash fish or whatever. But, for someone like me from Western Pennsylvania, I mean, they were just as fun to catch as the snook. As I was pedaling back in, I'm trolling a bait behind me. I didn't really have much expectations for it, but I'm just kind of pedaling along, admiring these huge houses, thinking how awesome it would be to live there. My rod just starts screaming, and I pick it up, set the hook, tighten the drag up, and end up being the longest fighting fish of the day. It was a nice sized jack. I never caught one that big before, so that was pretty cool to end the day on that. And something funny to go along with that is, I don't know how I knew I could do this, or, but I'd always said whenever I catch the first nice sized jack I catch, I wanted to attempt this picture where I make the same face as a jack does. So Matt's taking, these normal pictures, and I said, hey, can you take, one more picture for me? And, I hold it up and I make this face, and I think the picture turned out perfect. It was pretty funny and just a cool way to end the trip. Overall, I had an absolutely great time in Florida, and I cannot say enough nice things about Deep Blue Kayak Fishing. My guide, Matt, was outstanding. One of the best things about this charter is they provide everything. They give you the kayak, the rods, the reels, and constantly cast netting live bait throughout the day. We were never low on bait. All the terminal tackle, everything you need. All you have to do is just show up and go fish. Maybe bring some sunscreen. For someone like me who enjoys kayak fishing, and I can't necessarily always bring my kayak when I would travel. If you want to fly, you can't really bring your kayak with you. The rods and reels you could bring, but oftentimes you run into oversized baggage fees and all that kind of stuff. So these guys made it super easy and convenient to do. You just show up and go fish, and you get to chase fish you don't normally get to fish for, and do it from a kayak. So if you're debating on whether or not to do one of these charters, I highly suggest you give it a shot. I had an absolute blast. It was honestly one of the funnest times fishing I've had in my life. And I cannot thank Matt and Deep Blue Kayak Fishing enough. I'll post all their information in the description below. I'll put the YouTube channel so you can check out some of their videos. I'll put the website so you can figure out how to book a charter if you wanted to. If you like this video, these kind of story time things, hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. I'm going to be trying to put out a lot more videos this year. In fact, I'm already, planned to go back again with Deep Blue in May sometime. So hopefully the weather cooperates this time and we can go offshore. So, I have a bunch of other fishing trips planned, and, really looking forward to the 2017 season. So stay tuned, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and see you next time. Thanks.